Once upon a time, in a vibrant African village nestled amidst rolling hills and lush greenery, there lived a radiant young woman named Sami, blessed with beauty that rivaled the dawn. Sami was the pride of her village, her laughter like music in the air. One fateful day, a young and dashing doctor named Larry arrived in the village, drawn by its mysteries and the call of adventure. As fate would have it, Larry crossed paths with Sami, and in that moment, their destinies became intertwined. Their love blossomed like the wildflowers in the meadow, pure and untamed. Larry was captivated by Sami's grace and kindness, while she found solace and strength in his gentle words and caring touch. But their happiness was short-lived, for whispers of disapproval soon swept through the village. Sami's family, deeply rooted in the traditions of their village, struggled to accept Larry as a suitable partner for their daughter. They viewed him as a city boy, unfamiliar with their customs and way of life. Despite the obstacles, Larry and Sami clung to their love with unwavering determination, just like the roots of the ancient baobab tree. They met in secret, under the starlit sky, their hearts entwined in a bond that defied all odds. As tragedy approached like an ominous storm, Larry found himself caught in a landslide accident while responding to a medical emergency in a remote village. His journey through treacherous terrain was fraught with unforeseen challenges and dangers, leaving his fate uncertain. Upon hearing the news of Larry's accident, Sami's family saw an opportunity to sever her ties with Larry. Fearing the consequences of their forbidden romance, they spread rumors of Larry's demise, in hopes of convincing Sami that he was gone forever. Unbeknownst to his family, Larry had survived the landslide, but not without grave injuries. The rescue team transported him to the city hospital for urgent treatment. After his arrival at the hospital, Larry's loved ones were made aware of his accident. Larry's family tended to him with unwavering devotion as he lay in a coma for months, his body battered and broken from the ordeal. Months passed, and as Larry lay in his coma, Sami's grief knew no bounds. In her despair, she found solace in the arms of another, the king of the village, who offered her comfort and security in a time of need. Years went by, and Sami resigned herself to a life without Larry, her heart forever haunted by memories of their lost love. She married the king, hoping to find happiness in a union born of duty rather than desire. Meanwhile, Larry emerged from the darkness of his coma, his mind a blank canvas upon which the memories of his past were painted anew. He married a kind woman from a neighboring village, and together they built a life filled with laughter and love, their days a symphony of joy and contentment. But deep within the recesses of his soul, a flicker of something unspoken lingered, a whisper of a love long forgotten, waiting to be awakened by the gentle touch of fate's hand. One day, as Larry wandered through the bustling marketplace, a familiar face caught his eye. It was Sami, her beauty unchanged despite the passage of time. His heart quickened with a sense of recognition, a longing that he could not explain. Driven by an inexplicable force, Larry sought out Sami, desperate to understand the connection that tugged at his soul like a thread woven through time. And as they stood face to face, the years melted away, leaving only the echoes of their shared past lingering in the air. But reality soon intruded upon their reunion, a stark reminder of the lives they had built in the wake of their separation. Sami was now the queen of the village, her duties to her people and her husband outweighing the desires of her heart. And Larry, too, was bound by the ties of marriage and fatherhood, his responsibilities as husband and father pulling him in a different direction. Though their love burned bright as ever, the chasm between them widened with each passing moment, a silent barrier that threatened to keep them forever apart. Yet even as they grappled with the bitter truth of their circumstances, the flame of their love refused to be extinguished. It flickered and danced like a candle in the wind, its light a beacon of hope in the darkness that surrounded them. But hope, they soon realized, was a double-edged sword, cutting deep with its promises of a future that could never be. And so, with heavy hearts, they made the agonizing decision to part ways once more, their souls forever intertwined yet destined to walk separate paths. As they bid each other farewell, the weight of their unspoken words hung heavy in the air, a silent lament for the love that might have been. And as they turned their backs on one another, their hearts heavy with sorrow, they knew that they would carry the echoes of their love with them for all eternity. Years passed, and the village continued to thrive under the watchful eye of its queen. Sami threw herself into her duties with a renewed sense of purpose, her heart guarded against the pain of the past. But deep within the shadows of her soul, a flame still burned, a flame fueled by the memory of a love that had once consumed her whole. And though she had buried it beneath layers of duty and obligation, it refused to be extinguished, its embers smoldering just beneath the surface. Meanwhile, Larry lived out his days in quiet contentment, his life filled with the laughter of his children and the warmth of his wife's embrace. Yet beneath the facade of happiness, a sense of longing lingered, a longing for a love he could not name but felt with every fiber of his being. And so they lived, two souls adrift in a sea of uncertainty, their paths forever divergent, yet forever intertwined by the echoes of a love that refused to be forgotten. As time marched on, Larry immersed himself in the frantic rhythm of city living, his days blending into a whirlwind of deadlines and obligations. Despite his earnest attempts to bury the past beneath the cacophony of urban life, thoughts of Sami persisted like an unwelcome guest, stubbornly clinging to the corners of his mind, resisting all efforts to be forgotten. And then, one fateful day, tragedy struck. Larry's wife fell gravely ill, her once vibrant spirit dimmed by the shadow of sickness. As he stood by her bedside, watching helplessly as the light faded from her eyes, Larry felt the weight of his grief crushing him like a boulder upon his chest. With a heavy heart, he laid his beloved to rest, her memory a ghost that haunted his every waking moment. And as he mourned her passing, the echo of Sami's name whispered through his thoughts like a prayer on the wind. Meanwhile, back in the village, Sami had grown accustomed to life without Larry, her days filled with the duties of queenship and the weight of responsibility upon her shoulders. But despite her outward appearance of strength, her heart still yearned for the love she had lost so many years ago. And then, like a bolt from the blue, fate intervened once more, weaving its intricate tapestry of destiny and chance. With the passing of the king, Sami found herself once again alone, her heart heavy with grief for the husband she had lost. As she mourned her husband's passing, Sami's thoughts drifted back to Larry, the man who had captured her heart so many years ago. And in that moment, a spark of hope ignited within her soul, a glimmer of possibility amidst the darkness that threatened to consume her. Across the miles, Larry too found himself drawn back to the village of his youth, the memory of Sami beckoning to him like a siren's call. With each passing mile, his heart quickened with anticipation, his thoughts consumed by the possibility of rekindling the flame of their love. And then, as if guided by some unseen hand, their paths crossed once more, their eyes meeting across the crowded marketplace. And in that instant, the years fell away, leaving only the raw, unbridled truth of their love laid bare before them. With trembling hands and hearts full of longing, they reached out to one another, their fingers intertwining like vines in a tangle of passion and desire. And as they embraced, the world around them faded into obscurity, leaving only the echo of their love to guide them home. But even as they reveled in the joy of their reunion, the shadows of the past loomed large, casting a pall over their happiness. For Larry still carried the weight of his wife's passing, her memory a specter that haunted his dreams and clouded his thoughts. And Sami, too, grappled with the guilt of her lost years, her heart torn between the love she had once known and the duty she had sworn to uphold. But through it all, they clung to each other, their love a lifeline in a sea of uncertainty, guiding them through the darkest of nights and the stormiest of seas. As the years passed, their love only grew stronger, weathering the trials and tribulations of life with a steadfastness that defied all odds. They grew old together, their hands wrinkled with age but their hearts still young and full of passion. And when, at last, the time came for them to leave this world behind, they did so hand in hand, their souls forever entwined in a love that had stood the test of time. For in the end, they knew that love was the greatest gift of all, a treasure to be cherished and honored for all eternity. Love shining like a beacon in the darkness, They knew that their story would live on forever, a testament to the power of love to conquer all obstacles and transcend the bounds of time and space. For in the end, they had found each other once more, their hearts reunited in a love that was as timeless as the stars that adorned the night sky, as eternal as the earth beneath their feet. And as they walked hand in hand into the unknown, their souls forever entwined in a love that had weathered the storms of life, they knew that their journey was far from over in the end. They had found each other once more, their hearts reunited in a love that was as timeless as the stars that adorned the night sky, as eternal as the earth beneath their feet. And though their bodies may have grown frail with age, their spirits burned bright with the flame of their love, a flame that would guide them through the darkness and light their way to eternity. For in the end, they knew that love was the greatest gift of all, a treasure to be cherished and honored for all eternity. And as they journeyed into the great unknown, their hearts filled with hope and joy, they knew that their love would endure, a beacon of light in a world consumed by darkness.